Conrad, let's look at the data front. German businesses were feeling more positive than ever in June. That's according to the IFO Institute. What is driving this positive vibrations?
Well, you know, Chibi, there's a saying here among market people that roughly translates as the upswing is feeding the upswing. It really seems like the strong data coming in from all the different sectors of the German economy combined have the potential to further increase business sentiment. Especially one factor at the beginning of this year in the German economy came as a bit of a surprise to many economists. That's a rebound of manufacturing. And this has the potential to, increase the desire of companies to invest more. The fact that manufacturing has increased will probably make executives more ready to spend on new machinery, new computers, new labor force, and also more money on mergers and acquisitions. This is the ignition that really fueled business sentiment more, and all this combined made the IFO index, the Business Climate Index, climb to the highest level since Germany's reunification at the beginning of the 1990s.
Well, Conrad, I can actually see that positive sentiment written all over your face. Well, I have to let you go at this point. We have a long week to go through. Thank you very much for being part of this show today. Enjoy the rest of the day. We'll move on now to the U.S., where the stock index futures pointed to a higher open today as investors watched the solid uptick in oil prices carefully while looking ahead to key data releases. Kicking off the week, Monday is set to bring two batches of data during trade, durable goods, and the Dallas Fed Manufacturing Survey that's due out at 8:30 a.m. Eastern Time and 10:30 a.m. Eastern Time each, while three bond auctions are set to take place. So looking at those numbers there, we can only see the Dow Jones Industrial Average tilted downwards, just 0.01%. S&P 500 looking up 0.16%. Nasdaq 0.46% up. In Asia, markets there closed higher today despite news that Takata had filed for bankruptcy as oil prices gained more than 1%. Japan's benchmark Nikkei 225 index edged up by 0.1%, and South Korea's Kospi rose 0.42%. Australia's ASX 200 traded advanced 0.08% to end at 5,720.2. buoyed by gains in its consumer staples and utilities sub-indices. Markets in Greater China traded higher. Hong Kong's Hang Seng Index was up by 0.63%. On the mainland, the Shanghai Composite rose 0.89% and the Shenzhen Composite surged 1.36%. Markets in Indonesia, Singapore, Malaysia, India and the Philippines are closed for the end of Ramadan. And to commodities now, oil prices rose more than 1% in early trade today on a weaker dollar, but another rise in U.S. drilling activity stoked worries that a global supply glut will persist despite an OPEC-led effort to curb outputs. Brent crude futures were up 50 cents at $46.04 per barrel. U.S. West Texas Intermediate crude futures were up 44 cents at $43.45 per barrel. Analysts say oil prices extended gains as investors covered short positions, but there was little fundamental news supporting prices. The U.S. dollar index stayed low on Monday against the basket of currencies amid fading expectations for the Federal Reserve to hike interest rates again later this year. A weaker dollar also makes oil cheaper for countries using other currencies. Although oil prices have bounced back from 10-month lows, they are still down about 13% since late May, when the Organization of the Petroleum Exporting Countries and some other producers agreed to extend a deal to reduce output by 1.8 million barrels per day until the end of next March. To precious metal now, global gold prices edged lower today as investors remained cautious ahead of a flurry of U.S. data due this week, with firmer Asian stocks also weighing on the market. Investors will watch U.S. data including June consumer confidence, pending home sales, crude oil inventories and revised first quarter GDP for any signs of softness that could push back rate hike expectations. Spot gold fell 0.2% to $1,254 per ounce, staying not far off a one-week high hit on Friday. U.S. gold futures for August delivery fell 0.1% to $1,255 per ounce. Fed Chair Janet Yellen will be speaking on Tuesday and could provide the market with some direction. Gold is highly sensitive to rising rates, which lift the opportunity cost of holding non-yielding assets such as bullion, while boosting the dollar in which it is priced. In South Africa, the Simbae Gold says its coke operations west of Johannesburg would remain closed today, almost 3 weeks after workers downed tools in a wildcat strike. The company's spokesman, James Wellsaid, also said that 461 illegal miners have now been arrested there since the strike began. The stoppage was triggered by worker resentment at Simbae's drive to root out illegal miners who have been forced to the surface because the strike has deprived them of sources of food and water provided by employees. The South African precious metals producer aims to resume production later this week, but first plans to conduct safety inspections in the shafts. We'll take a quick break. When we come back, the program continues. To stay with us.